Hey guys, this is Elias with Softfly, and in this video I'm going to show you how to import property listings to the WP Rentals theme using WP All Import. Now, the first step is to get our file, and in today's video we have our file in an external server. So I'm going to choose download a file from URL and paste my file's URL here, then click on the download button. Alright, so now that we have our file, we need to decide whether we want to import new items or update existing ones. Now, I don't have any properties here on this side, as you can see. So I'm going to choose new items and then select listings from this pull down. Then continue to step 2. And here on step 2, we just need to double check that our import file is looking good. We can count the rows we have, and this number is right, and the columns with our data. And this data is looking good because that's the actual data we have in the import file. So let's just continue to step 3. And here on step 3, it's very straightforward, guys. We just need to drag and drop the values from this right panel into the appropriate import fields. We have here our title, the description, and if we open up this WP Rentals add-on tab, you will find all of the actual fields in your WP Rentals theme. Let me show you real quick. I'm gonna add new here, and you have our title, the description, the different taxonomies, and here we have the property general details, the property price, media, map, owner, and whatnot. So yeah, guys, let's just start dragging and dropping our elements, and WP import won't limit you to use a specific element into whatever field. We just need to drag and drop the values into whatever field we want them to go. All right, so we have here our title. Let's drag and drop our content element, which is going to be our description. And here on the WP Rentals add-on tab, we have the first tab, which is property general details. And again, this is the exact same thing you will find here on your theme. Now, let's keep dragging and dropping the elements. We have the guest number, which is down here. Then we have the property address. Let's drag and drop this, like so. And here for the property address, we need to add a couple of other elements. I'm going to choose to drag and drop the city. All right. And then the actual country. That's good. So this will give us a very complete address, which later on we're going to use to get the map settings right here. So let's just continue dragging and dropping the elements. We have here the county, right, state, property zip, and the country. Cool. So now here we have the property featured settings. So this, as you can see, we have here two options, which are not featured and featured, and we have a third one, which is set with expat. Now you may be wondering what's expat, and well, to put it simply, expat is basically when you use an element from your file. That's pretty much it. Now, if you do know expat, then you know you can do all sorts of crazy stuff here. But if you don't, just don't worry about it. This is just, you can drag and drop whatever element you have here and use it to populate this field. Now, the thing when you have these kinds of fields where you have a limited number of options and you want to import those dynamically, well, you just need to hover on this question mark, and WP import will show you the accepted values to be used with expat. Now, in this case, we have 1 for featured and 0 for not featured. Now, luckily, I have here my property featured element, and as you can see, this one is 0. And if I click here on this arrow to see the next property, you're gonna see that this one is 1, which is featured. So I have the actual correct values to be used with expat in my import file. So I can just drag and drop this like so, and WP import will import this dynamically. So this property is not featured, but this one is here. Then this next one, let me see. Oh, this next one isn't actually featured. So yeah, WP import will import this dynamically. So that's pretty cool. But maybe you don't have this data in this format in your file. Maybe you have this as a yes and no, right? So what do we do here? Well, WP import gives us some mapping options. we just need to click here on the field options button and click then in mapping. Now this little pop-up will show up, and here you have basically two options because WPL import will basically show you the default values for expat here, and then you can just type in the values you have in your file here, type it here. So in the example I said before, say you have no and yes, well, set that up here, no for 0 and yes for 1. Now if I click here on save rules, then WPL import will transform the no's into a 0 and the yes into a 1, and the import will work just fine. Now this is not my case, of course, so I'm just gonna delete this. So, and guys, if you have more maybe more values here, you can add more rows, delete them too. So let's dismiss this, close this option, and continue with our import. We have here the affiliate link element, so I'm gonna drag and drop that. It's gonna be here. The private nodes, there are no private nodes here, so I'm just gonna skip that value. And now here for this, I have the element in the import file again, so I'm just gonna set with expat and drag and drop that value. Again, guys, it's always a good idea to hover on the question mark so you can be sure what the accepted values are. All right, then we have here the property price section. So we here need to keep doing what we were doing. So let's set with expat for the booking type. All right, now the property price, it's around here. All right, then I don't have any before and after labels, so I'm just gonna skip these values. Same with the property taxes. Then the price per night, when you have a week, I have this value here. Cool. Price per night in a month, it's cool. And the weekend is here. Cleaning fee is here. The cleaning fee calculation, I'm gonna set this with expat. Cool. Now city fee, it's right here, and same with the city fee calculation. I'm gonna set this with expat. All right, then minimum days for booking, we have here 7, but I'm gonna use static data. I'm gonna say 7 because this is the same value we have for the properties, and I want to show you that you can use static data here and it will work too. You can of course go ahead and drag and drop your value, but again, this is just for this video's purposes. Now for the security deposit, I'm just gonna drag and drop that value. The early bird discount, which is when you actually book a property with some X days in advance, so you get an early bird discount. So this early bird discount is right here. For this property, it's 20%, and the early bird days, we have it right here, and in this case, it's 30 days. So if you book this property in 30 days in advance or more, you will get 20% off. Well, that's cool. Now, extra price per guest, I have it right here. Then we need to decide whether we want to allow guests above capacity, and we have that element right here. So I'm just gonna set this with expat and drag and drop the value. Cool. Now I don't have this value, but I'm gonna just leave it in no because the no actually works for me, and you can see that the value will just be the same for all of the 104 properties. Now for these settings, I'm gonna leave it as it is because I want all of the properties to be able to be booked in all of the days. So I'm just gonna leave it in all. Same with these settings. And for the property media, I'm gonna set it with expat and drag and drop the element right here. Cool. Then the embed video ID, it's gonna be here. And the virtual tour, it's not actually in our import file, so I'm just gonna skip that. Then we have our property specific details, and we have here our property size, rooms, bathrooms, and whatnot. So let's just add all of those. We have here the property size, rooms, bathrooms, cancellation policy, and other rules. Then whether smoking is allowed or not. So let's just drag and drop that. Pets, let's drag and drop that too. Oh, this is actually party, not pets. This is pets. Cool. All right, then children, it's around here. Check-in hours. here, checkout hours, cool, late check-in, optional services, okay, other facilities, extra people, it's here, and cancellation is here. All right, guys, so now we get to the map settings. Now here we can actually leave this blank because I'm gonna use this setting right here that says search by address from the property general details section. And that section is the first one we place here. All right, so WPL import will use this value to look our properties. Now it doesn't mean that you can't actually drag and drop the values. I can actually do it. In fact, let's just do it, because why not? Now this field, I'm just gonna skip it. And for the zoom level, I'm gonna say 15, that's cool. That's a good value. And here on the Google Geocode API settings, you will need a Google API to get the map working. Now I have one right here. So I'm just gonna paste it in. But if you don't have one, just click here, open this link in a new tab and follow the instructions here. Right, so this will get our map working. That's cool. Now for the owner, we need either the ID, the username, or the email of a registered user in the site. So I'm just gonna place my email here, players@softly.com. All right, and this will assign all of these properties to me. All right, we have here some advanced options, but we can leave this as it is. And here we have the property images. Now our images are up here. So let's drag and drop those. We have the featured image, comma, and the gallery. Now here in the gallery, we have actually a lot of images, and they are separated with a comma. So I'm just gonna leave this as a comma, but you can change this to a semicolon or whatever you're using, right? Now, it's always a good idea, guys, to just click here on the preview and test button, just to make sure that WPL import is detecting all of the images, and then click on the run test button to double check that it's actually able to download the images. And as you can see here, WPL import is able to successfully download these images. So this is very good. Let's click on the dismiss button. And here we have several options. I'm gonna leave this one enabled because I want WPL import to double check if the image that's been downloaded actually exists in my site before it starts downloading that image, because maybe I have that image there and I don't want duplicate images, because that will just clutter our server and make our site a bit slower. So yeah, let's just keep this enabled. You can hover on this question mark and it will give you a brief description of what this option does. I'm going to choose to match the images by URL, but you can actually match this for file name too. It kind of depends on you. Now I'm going to keep these settings enabled because I want to keep our images in the media library. But say you want to run this import a second time because maybe your feed provider changed some of the images or whatever, where you can just disable this and WPL import will delete all of the images in the records from your site before importing new images. So again, this is very cool when you need a clean slate for the images in your properties. Just disable that option and WPL import will take care of that for you. Now, this is not my case. I'm just gonna keep this enabled. I don't have any images in the content area, so I'm just gonna keep this disabled. And I'm gonna choose to set this first image to be the featured image. Remember, guys, we actually used here an element for featured image. So this is gonna be the first image that's downloaded by WPL import, and it will be the one that WPL import assigns as the featured image. And all of these other ones are gonna be the gallery ones. All right, so this is done. Let's just continue. We don't have any custom fields in this example, so I'm just gonna skip this altogether. And here we have the taxonomies tab. Now here we have a lot of taxonomies, so I'm just gonna go enabling one by one and drag and drop in the values. Now for the category, I have this element right here, and we only have one category per element, so let's just drag and drop that. Cool. the what do you rent taxonomy. Let's enable that and drag and drop that element here too, because it only has one value. Now the city, that's the same case. We have it here. Cool. Then the neighborhood, same. And for the featured and amenities, we have actually a lot of things going on here. We have some elements that are hierarchical, which is the case here in amenities. Amenities is the parent and air conditioner is the children. Now we have here another amenities element, and here we have internet, another amenities element, and the children is kitchen, and so on and so forth. So you can see we have other symbol here, which is a pipe, and this pipe is actually separating different hierarchy groups. So the way we import this in WPL import is by choosing the third option right here, and then enabling the option that says an element in my file contains entire hierarchy. So let's drag and drop that here, and if I click preview, you will see that this looks a bit weird. And for example, we have here these facilities, which doesn't belong here with this hierarchy group. So the way we separate this is by enabling this option that says separate hierarchy groups via symbol. And WPL import by default chooses the pipe, but we can change that same as with the other separators. So let's preview again. And now it's looking a lot better. Now this is how we want it to go. So let's just dismiss this, enable property status, and drag and drop the value here like so. All right guys, so now we have here the other listings options, and this is some standard WordPress stuff like post dates, post status, maybe the comments, post looks. So I'm just gonna skip all of this because the default values work just fine for me. Now here we have the function editor, and here in the function editor, guys, you can just run your own functions if you know PHP. Now this is very cool because you can modify your data however you see fit, like we did here with the mapping feature. Say you want more complex logic here, maybe, I don't know, you need to run some custom super complex function. Well, you can do that here in the function editor. And if you want to know more about the function editor, just go to our website at wplimport.com, click on the docs menu, and then go here to import, scroll down to custom code, and inline PHP. Here you will find a lot more info on how to run PHP functions in WPL import. Now we have here a lot of data, a lot of information. So if you're feeling a little bit lost here, just as I said, go to wplimport.com, click on the docs element in the menu, and just go nuts here. All right, there is a lot of fun stuff you can learn here. Now, if even after that you're feeling a little bit lost with your import, just don't worry about it, guys. Contact our support team. You can click here on the menu, on the support link, and send us an email here. Just give us as much details as you can, and we will take care of that for you. All right. Now, guys, before we continue to step 4, let's just do another thing, because maybe we want to update existing items using this same file structure or whatever in the future. Maybe your provider just sends you a file and you need to upload it to your server or whatever. And this is how you keep your data updated, right? So if you don't want to keep doing all of this, every single day or whatever, well, there is something you can do, which is very cool, which is save these settings as a template. So let's just give it a name. Let's call it test, just for testing purposes, right? And now let's just continue to step 4. Now, if we do that, WPL import will save all of these configurations under the test name. And when you start a new import, you can just click here on the load template and it will show up here. All right, let's just continue to step 4. All right, and here we can just click on the auto attack button and WPL import will choose the right unique identifier for us. Now, what you want with this unique identifier is an element that's truly unique across your whole file. Now, the reason for this is because WPL import needs a way to tell these elements apart. All of these 104 records, we need a way to tell WPL import that they are different. So an ID, it's a very good unique identifier, you can use that, and WP import will just know that each one of these elements are different. Because, for example, if this property and this other one will have the same unique identifier, well, WP import will say, oh, so these guys are the same, and I'm gonna update the first one with the data of the second or the next element that has that unique identifier, right? So again, guys, you can just click on the auto detect button, and WP import will just choose the right one for you, right? Now these settings, I'm gonna leave them as they are, but guys, just so you know, you can disable this if you don't want to create new listings from this import file. So let's say you only want to actually update existing listings from this import file, you can just disable this. That's cool. Or if you don't actually want to update anything but create new properties, well, disable this one. Now you have here some other flexibility. So for example, in this option, if you hover on this question mark, you will get a brief description, but basically it says that WP import keeps tracks of the imported data. And if we have a file that has another data or different data or whatever, for example, let's say we change this title for this property, well, WP import will know that and will update that property. But if we disable this, WP import will just go ahead and update everything, no matter if the data has changed or not. This is cool because let's say I want to actually run this import again, maybe after we finish, because maybe our provider gave us a new file. Well, most of the properties are most likely be the same, so you don't want to run the import on all of them. Maybe you just want to run the import on the ones that have changed, right? So keep that enabled, and that's what's going to happen. Now here we have the option to choose what data we want to import, and this is again very cool because it gives you a lot more control over what data you're importing and whatnot. So yeah, let's just take that back. Cool. And here we have a very neat feature, which is the ability to remove or modify listings that are not present in this import file. Now guys, this is very useful because again, if we wanted to actually run a schedule, maybe we want to run this import file every single day at a certain time, and because at that time your provider updates your file, and maybe this property it's not anymore on the market. Maybe someone actually bought this or booked this property. Well, you can use this setting to remove or modify listings that are no longer present. You can do that here, and we have several options. The first one will work only with the properties created by this import file, and the second one will actually modify all of the properties on your site. So read this very carefully, guys, because these have some destructive potential, all right? And guys, it's always a good idea to actually run a backup if you're going to use one of these settings. Just run a backup so you can roll back if needed, all right? Now I'm not going to use any of this, so I'm just going to disable this option. And right here we have the scheduling options. And I do want to actually set up a schedule. Now we have two options here. We can actually use the manual scheduling, which uses cron jobs, and we have other videos and other docs on that. You can access that by clicking here on this link, and you will be taken to the documentation on using cron jobs. Now this is very detailed, but it's a little bit more advanced, and you can actually ask your web host provider for assistance with this. So we're not gonna use that. I'm actually gonna use the automatic scheduling option. And here we can use the UI, and you can find more info on the automatic scheduling option right here in our documentation. Just click here, just below the recurring imports, you will find the automatic scheduling, and you can know how this works. But basically, I'm just gonna set this up every single day, and it will run at 12 a.m. All right. Now, with this, WP import will run this same import every single day at 12 a.m. All right, cool. So here we have, lastly, some advanced settings, and I'm gonna leave all of this as it is, but you can hover on this question mark, and it will show you a brief description of what this option does. All right, cool guys. So everything is looking good here. Let's just continue. All right, and here we have a brief summary of our import, and all of this is looking good. So I'm just gonna confirm and run the import. All right, now this is gonna take a minute or two, so I'm just gonna pause the video here and come back when it's ready. All right, so our import is completed. Let's see how our listings look like. And we have here all of the listings. We have 104 listings, which is good. This is the number we expected. So let's see how this looks in the front end. All right, so we have now our properties, guys. And as you can see, they are looking good here on the map. It's good, very nice. Now let's just open this one up, see what's going on here. We have our title, the short address, the price. We have here our gallery, which it's always a good sign that all of the images were downloaded. It's cool. Now we have here some additional information, the description, the price info, and as you can see, the minimum number of nights before booking the property. The element we placed in static data, it absolutely worked, so that's great. The early bird discount is looking good too. It's good. The address is here. Now the details like the property ID, the size, rooms, bedrooms, checking hours, cancellation, extra people, that's cool. All of that data is here, so that's great. Now we have our amenities. And remember, guys, that this data is actually set up in a hierarchical structure. So the amenities is the parent, and all of these are the children. Same with the bed and bath, facilities, other features. All of these are the parents, and the ones below that are the children. So that's great. Now we have our terms and conditions. We have, well, all of this is as we set up with SFAT. Some other properties might have different values, so that's good. And yeah, here we have the map. So everything is looking real nice here, guys. Let's see how this looks in the edit listing page. We have the title, the description, the different taxonomies are here, and the different tabs have our data correctly. The owner is set up to be, well, me. So that's great. So yeah, guys, this is looking real nice, but I want to show you one last thing. All right, so we have here the import we created, and this is the URL for that import. So this file is in this site. All right, I have it right here. And let's say our provider actually sends us an email and says, hey, so we have sold a lot of houses, or we have them booked, or whatever. So here is the new file. Make sure to update your data or whatever, right? So I actually have a new file here. So I'm just gonna drag and drop this in the site and overwrite the actual file we're using. So if I go here and let's just modify some of the settings, right? Let's go here to remove or modify listings that are not present in this import file. I'm gonna select this, and I'm gonna choose to delete all of these properties that are not present in the file, right? So let's select this, and we can choose to delete the images and attachments from that properties, but I'm not gonna do that. Oh, well, maybe the images, we will delete this, right? So with this, I'm just gonna save the configurations, and I need to acknowledge here that I know what I'm doing, because again, guys, these have some potential to be destructive. So I'm gonna type in here, I have backups. All right, just confirm that. Cool. So let's run this import again, right? And again, I'm gonna pause the video here and come back when it's ready. You can see that we no longer have 104 records. Now we have 88. So let's see how this behaves. All right, guys. So you can see that WP import has finished processing our 88 records, and it has deleted some other records. So let's go here to listings, and we no longer have 104 listings. Now we have 88. Now, if I go here to the front end, you can see that everything seems to be good. Let's open this property, and you can see that the images are still here. Everything looks good. The only difference is that since we actually changed the file in the server where we're getting the import file from, well, all of the data actually changed, and WPL import is able to actually read that very nicely. So yeah, guys, this is just to showcase some of the other powerful features in WPL import. But what we came here to do is actually done, which is import some properties using the WPL rentals theme and WPL import. So yeah, that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to learn more about how to import or export other WordPress data like WooCommerce orders, products, taxonomies, post types, and whatnot, just check out the other videos in our channel or go to our website at wplimport.com. See you next time.